Also a Turkish company representative, Erke, and this company is interested in exporting Georgian wine to Turkey.
Hello everyone, my name is Uras and I'm coming from Turkey. I represent the second generation of a family company. Our company was established in 1987 in Turkey, and we have been so far involved in distribution, mainly in industrial products. And since 2019 we were lucky enough to start our business in leisure. And since then we have taken a long way, and thanks to Mr. Rezan and Mrs. Nina, they invited us here to talk to you and to meet most of the producers here. I'm here for two reasons actually. I want to give you some information about the Turkish wine market, and I would like to also learn why Georgian wines have not been well established, well represented in the Turkish market so far. Since yesterday we were lucky enough to talk to most of the producers. I'm sorry, would you like to translate or should I continue?
So you can continue. You can go.
Okay, I can go.
Yeah.
All right. Since yesterday we were lucky enough to visit most of the producers here, and none of them, in my understanding, have a certain reason why as to no Turkish company have been involved in representing Georgian wine. So I would like to begin with some information about Turkey and Turkish wine. And usually we are known for, not for the wine production or the wine consuming, but the rakı, the arak maybe you can know as well. But that is changing since the last 10 or 15 years. So currently the Turkish average consume of wine is 1.2 liters per person when you divide that for 85 million people. But this would be a wrong estimation, since only 10 million active wine drinkers are in Turkey. So when you compare it with 10, this is a very decent number. However, 10 years ago, this was around 0.2 liters per person. So you can see that the graphics are improving. And in terms of production, 15 years ago, there were around 5 or 6 main companies that were well established in the 1920s after the forming of the Republic. And today we are about 200 local wine producers. And 95% of all the production, which is since last year it is 75 million bottles of wine that was produced locally, 95% of which are only sold in the Turkish market. So the export is around 5%, 6% you might estimate. And this is a very low number. But this gives you an idea about the consumption in Turkey also. In terms of importation, the main countries that we import from are Argentina, Spain, Chile, Italy. France as well, but the French wine is not really appreciated in Turkey because, as I said, the market is young and the people are not so interested in sophisticated delicacies. They are more interested in robust and easy, let's say, to access wine. And my question in this case is that importing from Argentina, which is around 10,000 or 8,000 kilometers away, and these numbers are not, these figures are not low. So from total around $6 million of imports are being done by these companies, from these countries. And when you divide that in terms of bottle, it's around 600,000 to 1 million bottles. Whereas when I checked the data for importation from Georgia in 2019, this was around 25,000 bottles, and last year around 35,000 bottles. And this is just peanuts, if you ask me. There's a big market there. And so far I was not able to understand why this is happening, if this is something regarding the Turkish idea of wine, or is this something that the Georgian wine producers are not pushing. And what I've come to realize is that so far in Turkey, the average consumer is more interested in not so sweet but dry wine. I think maybe the first time Georgian wines were introduced, they were introduced in a semi-sweet wine. So before we came here, we made a small survey with some of the local sommelier, not high-level people of course, but local people we know. And we asked them about the Georgian wine. We asked if they ever drank Georgian wine, and 42 people attended to this seminar, and they said only one of them had ever tried Georgian wine. And we asked him what he thinks about it, and he said it's sweet. And when I asked him if he had ever been to Georgia, he said none of them had ever been to Georgia. So it's very interesting when you have a neighbor which is right next to you, which is known for its production in wine. And then we asked them if they knew that Georgia was the first country in the world to start producing wine. None of them knew that. They thought it was or Greece or Turkey, which is not true. So my idea is that it should be, the import rate, the import bottles should be around 500,000 bottles per year, minimum, with the capacity you have, and with the wine that you have, which is beautiful wine, I might add as well. The local grapes are unique. And this is a certain trend now, also in Turkey. As I said, the French idea of having only the same generation of grapes are changing, and I see that this is a global trend as well, that the local varieties are becoming more popular. And for this reason, we are talking with some of the producers in order to establish a company, in order to start importing and take our shot in making good sales number in Georgia. And we were able to identify 4 key distinct ideas to implement the Georgian wine in Turkey. So that the first one would be, excuse me for shaking, is to have at least 1 or 2 local stores that sell only Georgian wine as a physical product, as a physical, approachable store. Or it must be in Istanbul, also Ankara, which is the capital, could be interesting. This should be done together with the producers, and as a local distributor should take some of the incentive in this case. The second one should be to try and introduce the Georgian wines to the hotels, which are around 4 to 5 million Russians came last year because of the COVID. Before that, pre-COVID numbers around 10 million people from Russia only are coming. And I know that Russia is a big market for Georgian wines, so these people are already used to your wines, and these people are already, when they see that on the list of the menu, Georgian wine, they would prefer that to a Turkish one. So this is a big chance as well. And the third one should be also to implement these Georgian wines, tasting them and selecting according to the dishes, of course, to the restaurants. These take time, effort, and financial risk for a distributor, so I understand if they didn't do that for this reason. But seeing as they were able to import huge numbers from abroad, the financial aspect was not the case. So I would like to ask our producers here if they have a solid reason why they have not so far exported to Turkey. If they have their own story, I would like to really learn from you as well. Thank you for listening.
Turkey for the wine and alcoholic beverages. I think that's one of the main reasons, which is kind of creating Turkey as an attractive market for wine. The second is as you said, it's kind of growing. It's a kind of new wine consumption market for the wine countries. What price segments are you looking for? Which are the
First of all, I'd like to respond to your first idea. Before I came here again, together with our logistics department, we called our customs agents. And since 2008, there seems to be a quota of wines between the Georgian government and Turkey. So the quota suggests that around 1 million bottles, 1.2 million bottles, can be imported to Turkey from Georgia without any taxes, additional taxes. So whatever tax should be implemented, it should be implemented after the customs clearance. So there is already standing incentive to push people to start importing. This is actually a huge deal, because there is no such incentive with any other country between Turkey in terms of wine. For the second reason, the price is not the issue. We have already local production that is around 30-35 euros per bottle cost, and it's slowly improving with the help of French and Italian sommeliers. They are improving their production rates. So an entry-level wine,
average shelf price is 30 euros.
Yeah, around. Yeah.
Of imported wines.
No, these are local. The imported wines are even higher.
Okay.
50 euros, 60 euros. You can find in gross markets. For example, in a restaurant, you cannot open the cheapest bottle of wine would be around 36 euros. The cheapest
in the restaurant.
In the restaurant. So it depends on the restaurant as well. If you go to a very expensive one, I think that will be 100 euros.
What is the margin in this 30 euros?
For the restaurant?
What would be the export price for the wine to end up 35 euros on the shelf in Turkey? Is it 5 US, 4 US dollars?
I think around 20%. 20% is my estimate.
It's good to know.
Thank you for listening, and if you ever want to talk to me about the market and if you have any suggestions for cooperation advice, I would really like to hear it from you. Thank you.
Import trends, who was doing what. I'm still in Germany, but as of this year, I now work for an American technical staff, the Google of wine. We're building a wine search engine. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening digitally in the world and how this is affecting wine. If I can just get my mobile. So, as everybody knows, in the last 18 months we had a pandemic and everybody was at home and everybody went online and people spent their life on Zoom. And as a result, everyone ordered wine online instead of going to the wine shop. So internationally, what we've seen is an explosion of digital wine offerings. In some countries, particularly in emerging countries like Brazil, India, Mexico, a lot of wine buying has moved almost entirely online. In the United States, wineries were selling, before the pandemic, about 2% online. Now they're selling 10% online, and by 2030 they'll probably be selling between 30 and 40% of their output